It was the 4th of December of 2012. The dinner was ready, and I called her to help me to put the clutter, as every day, but she didn't answer. I called her again, but she didn't come. So I went to her room, opened the door, and was in that moment when my life got completely ruined. My beautiful daughter was lying on the floor. Next to her were some pills, and she had a paper in her hand. It was a letter.
Dear Mom, I would love not to have to do this, but I can't find another way to finish with all of this pain I'm feeling. Yes, pain. I know you didn't know anything about this, but I didn't want you to know the things that I lived in school. I'm so sorry for doing this to you, to Dad and little Sophie. Believe me that I tried to tell you what was happening many times, but I didn't want you to suffer. In this letter, I say goodbye to you, my lovely mom. You will always be the best mom for me, even though I will not be here. The only thing that I expect for the future is that people make justice for what I suffered and for what many teenagers suffer nowadays. I love you. I will always do. Please let me rest in peace.
Of course, I couldn't believe what I was looking at, but the first thing that I wanted to do was to figure out how something like that could happen. So I called my daughter's best friend, and I asked her if she could go to the house to talk about something. Some hours later, she arrived home, and I told her what had happened. She was as sad as I was, but her face was different, like if she knew something that I didn't. So in that moment, I asked her what was happening in the school, and she told me the hell that my little girl was living. Everything starts with the problem that my daughter went to a really high-class school. We don't have the resources to send her to that school, but I have a really good friend that is a teacher in there, so she gave her the benefit to study there. I knew that money was going to be an issue, but I never thought that adolescents could be so mean. My daughter's friend told the horrible pranks that some girls did to my girl in the school because of her clothes, her way to talk, the place she lived, etc. I couldn't believe how my girl had been going through all of that in silence. 1 month later, when I felt ready to fight for my daughter, I went to the local government to talk about how bullying is an usual thing in schools. In fact, there was no law that protects bullied kids in the school. As I expected, the government didn't do anything for my little girl, excusing themselves, saying that they can't create a law without permission. That is why I took a decision. I collected a lot of testimonies from my daughter's classmates, and also I found a video in which she explained her willing to die. It was very hard for me to do all these things, but I had to do it for her. A week later, I went to the government again, with proofs of how bullying affected my daughter. I showed the testimonies and the video to the mayor of the city. He told me that finally they would ask for permission in order to create a new law. In that moment, I felt really happy and peaceful because the law will stop the bullies of any school, and most important, I made justice for my daughter. Now she can rest in peace. I will remember her every day of my life, wishing that whenever she is, she finds happiness.